The sixth week of racing here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway brings us to EMP Fan Appreciation Night, and the cars are lined up on the front stretch right now, and fans are getting an up-close look to their favorite drivers and favorite cars and the machines they drive every Saturday night here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. Hi, I'm Todd Rose here with the Rose Racing Report, and it's a nice, cool, breezy day here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. The sun is shining, it's a blue sky day, and we're going to have a great night of racing just ahead, and we'll have the highlights for you in just a few seconds here on the Rose Racing Report. Prior to the start of the night, the track paused for a moment of silence for Devin Fisher, who spent several years working as one of UPIR's scorers. Devin's hockey teammate, Luke Lobb, who recently received a scholarship in Devin's name, honored him with a silent lap. Devin was a great young man who didn't mind putting in an extra effort for anything, or on occasion leaning out of the scoring booth to clean a dirty window, a window that is still clean today. His hard work, ever-present smile, and company are all missed greatly. It was Brody Steinhauer who made a quick move on the start of the Riverside Auto Group Youth Microsprint feature to take the lead in turn one. Going with him would be Carson Artley and Ethan Mannanen as they got around Tanner Hansen. Brody's time in the front would be short-lived, however, as Carson Artley took the spot on the backstretch. Brody, though, was about to have his race turn all around and backwards. Then he was almost collected by Mason Cagino, then Griffin Iverson, as he tried to turn around. The caution would come out as disaster was averted. Back at the point on the restart, Ethan Mannanen put his foot down and took the lead from Carson Artley, while Brody tried to get his way back to the front of the field on the inside of Liam Steinhauer. Ethan Mannanen would hold on up front to take the feature win, with Carson Artley following in second and Mason Cagino rounding out the top three. In a bit of a change-up, the Vintage Modifieds ran first after intermission in place of the Sportsman Microsprints in an effort to continue helping pack a wet track. The early laps, drivers gingerly made their way around the track. Slowly but surely, though, the speed picked up, and Scott Degnan made his way around Charlie Peterson for the lead. Outside the bottom two lanes could be called the danger zone. Venture there and your destination would be the wall, as Robbie Iverson found out as he slammed into the turn 3 wall. He wouldn't be the last driver to do so. After the restart, Dan Lambert paid a brief visit to the danger zone, but quickly made his way back to the bottom. Matt Valaket had issues in the race's mid-stages, slowing in front of Lambert and coming to a near standstill. Whatever was wrong was quickly righted, and Matt was back on it, gaining a spot he lost back from Alan Yell. Jesse Denome would take a last lap dive to try for the win, but it was all Scott Degnan out of turn 4. Denome followed in second, and in a photo finish for third, Charlie Peterson edged out Dan Lambert. The normal weekly flow of racing resumed with the Sportsman Microsprint Division feature. After a tightly packed lap 1, the field split into two distinct three-car groups. The first led by Jeffrey Lash with Gunnar Hansen and Luke Lobb until the second saw Trevor Denome pulling the train of Brett Lobb and Drake Degnan. Gunnar Hansen was soon on the tail of Jeffrey Lash. After several laps of stalking the leader, Hansen made an intrepid move to the inside of Lash. The two slammed wheels, and Gunnar came out shining on the other side. Gunnar held on to take his first ever Sportsman feature win with Jeffrey Lash and Luke Lobb following in second. Trevor Denome held off Drake Degnan and Brett Lobb for fourth. Brad Sepinen took off to an early lead in the Getchell Builders 600 Microsprint feature while everyone else scrambled for position. Matt Peterson and Logan Getzlaff were two drivers making moves from the get-go, as was Brent Smith, who was substituting for Danny Beauchamp. This move on Paul Hosking put him into second. Despite the usual trepid start, the feature ran green the entire way. That didn't hinder the excitement. As Brad Sepinen caught lap traffic, Brett Smith bridged the gap from first to second. After a lap or two, Smith pounced to the outside of Sepinen, and there was no looking back. Brent Smith would take the win, with Matt Peterson nabbing the second spot from Brad Sepinen, who would cross the line in third. Nick Leisner used the first starting spot and inside lane to his advantage, taking the lead immediately in the A&L Iron and Metal Street Stock feature. As Leisner began to pull away from a Tyler Corwin-led four-car pack, Billy Bowden ventured a little wide into the aforementioned danger zone and into the wall. Scraping to a halt, Night over. On the restart, Ron Jenshak found his way to second, while Paul Wagner took the battle for third to the inside of Tyler Corwin. Down the backstretch, he would grab the spot, while leader Nick Leisner had a tense moment running wide in turn 4. A slew of cautions, the first for an Eric Mathieson spin, interrupted the flow of the race. Other incidents included this backstretch loop by Jason Peacock, and another spin from Mathieson that saw Paul Wagner narrowly avoid contact with the number 27. Overcoming the multiple restarts, Nick Leisner held on to win, leading flag to flag. Ron Jenshak and Paul Wagner took second and third. Matt Mackey found trouble on the first lap of a 6-pack challenge for the Binks Coca-Cola Sport Modifieds. Then Wally Sepnin did the same thing, and he wasn't as lucky as he slammed the turn 2 wall, his night coming to an end. On the restart, Lonnie Dalgord mounted a challenge against leader Jamie Iverson. Behind them, Matt Valaket found himself in the same position as Mackey and Sepinen, sliding toward the outside wall. Thankfully, he would escape with no damage. Meanwhile, Dalgord swiped the lead away from Iverson. Valaket would be on the charge the rest of the race, first passing Jeff Solomon, then passing Matt Mackey while taking his car about as low as you'd ever want to venture at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. Back up front, Lonnie Dalgord would take the checkered flag while Jamie Iverson crossed the line in second. Matt Valaket came home in third. It's a weekly theme now at UPIR, great action in the Island Resort and Casino Sport Compacts with a great car count to boot. A wild lap 1 saw drivers all over the track sliding around and slamming into one another. Matt Adams and Nolan Raridan came together on the front stretch, and with all the chaos, the caution flag waved. On the restart, it looked like things might settle down with close racing. However, they didn't, as Matt Adams and Brian Bizza discovered in turn 3. Tony Everett would be the next driver to find the danger zone and slam head-on into the turn 3 wall. Somehow, Tony continued like nothing had happened, minus a front bumper. A 3-car pack of Trevor Cronick, TJ Everett, and Alex Constantino emerged from the field to battle for the top spot. After several laps of disputing the spot, Cronick grabbed it. Then the front runners came into lap traffic. Cronick and Constantino tried to go around the outside of Nolan Raridan, but they found little grip as they slipped up the track. TJ Everett went to the lead with a thank you very much. Constantino and Cronick tried 3 wide again with Raridan, this time making it work on the inside. For the second week in a row, Trevor Cronick looked to make a late race move for the win. Pushing as hard as he could, Cronick came up short of TJ Everett. He would struggle for grip and made the move to slide through the pit chute instead of finding the wall. TJ Everett, however, was the winner with Trevor Cronick and Alex Constantino second and third. Make sure to join us again next week on August 8th for the next race at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway, sponsored by Richardson Jewelers. Green flag drops at 7 Eastern.